Welcome to Healing the Trauma Within. In this session, I am speaking with Martha Mock about gaining confidence after domestic abuse and bullying. Let me tell you a little bit about Martha. Martha guides women who may have had a similar experience as she did, being in an abusive marriage, bullied at school since a young age, and sexually molested by someone she trusted, to find themselves again by not letting their past hold them back. She creates super confident women. Martha is known as the Super Confidence Coach. She's a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, multi-award-winning international makeup artist and hairstylist, and author. She coaches in the area of life, business, self-worth, and relationships. And her specialty is empowering new coaches to run their profitable coaching businesses. By using her knowledge and personal experiences, Martha empowers others to improve their life situation, to achieve happiness by unlocking their potential from within. With opting different strategies to unlock their fear and barriers, she allows them to find the strength to face their challenges. And her mission is that no woman should suffer in silence. So welcome, Martha.
Thank you for having me, Tracy.
Well, I am excited to have you here. One of the things that those of us who have suffered from domestic abuse, bullying, and sexual assault, as well as many other traumas, lose is our confidence. So
Yes.
figuring out how to regain our confidence is huge, because we lose it. And oftentimes, especially as I'm sure you know, in domestic abuse, it gets battered out of us, basically.
I feel like that is we need to look at confidence in different pillars. One, when someone that who's like us, that who've been through domestic violence and domestic abuse, it's not about everything that we got the confidence out of. It's also about what we are excel in and then what we're not good at. So the part that we've been told by our partner and the environment saying that, oh, I'm not good enough, in that area, just like I did, that I've been told by my ex-husband that I'm worthless. So being told by that does affect your confidence in the love or the relationship matter. But I was still very successful in my makeup business, where I have won a lot of awards and become a competition judge. So we first must realize confidence is not about everything that happens to you in life. We will be able to switch our brain and focus on the things that we are really good at, then build up the confidence in other areas that we're lacking. It's like if we try to eat a pizza all at once, you will suffocate. But if you're looking at different pillars, different slides, and achieve the confidence in every single part, that's when you become a whole and a fully, what I call myself now is consciously confident and unconsciously competent. So being consciously competent and unconsciously competent, that helps you to build up that confidence from all around.
I like how you're looking at that, and that is very true. As as I think about it, we may not feel confident in one area, but like you said, we can be successful in another. So our self-worth may be in the toilet, but our success at work and business is up there.
Yes.
So how do we go about regaining our confidence? I mean, we've been beat down and shot down and told that we're worthless and all other kinds of stuff. How do we start getting that back?
I have a 4 questions that it helped me to get out of all of that thinking that I'm not good enough. So one of the questions that I ask myself is, what have what do I know from all this year? What other people told me that I know isn't true? Just like that, I've been in a 19 years abusive marriage, but I know when he said that I'm worthless and useless, I know it isn't true. Just because someone say it, it doesn't mean it's true. So find out that strength from within and do your list and say, okay, am I really what they say or am I not really? Because we must be reflecting ourselves and see, okay, is that something that is my fault or something is not my fault? Even that everything, it seems like your fault. But a lot of the time that we must realize it's not their belief is not our belief. We all have different beliefs. So I have got to respect his model of the world and let him be what he wants to say. But then have a look at, reflect yourself. What have other people told me over the years, but I actually know that is not true? So give a checklist for yourself. It will help you to build some of the confidence back. The second questions that I would ask is, what have others told me, but I do not believe in it? Just like someone can be on the street and say, wow, your hair looks amazing. Wow, I love your eyeshadow colors. Oh, wow, you look really good today. A lot of us that who are lack of confidence will say, it's just a haircut. I didn't really like it, and start touching their hair. And then thinking that, it was a photo I took a long time ago. I gained so much weight now. I don't look like that anymore. Instead of having the confidence to say, thank you, allowing ourselves to accept what other people's compliment is. And once you realize how much you have rejected compliments, you will say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a time to give myself a little bit of a snack. We'll tell myself and say, next time I will say thank you and internalize it until you can say thank you and truly believe it. It's a progress. It's not jumping off a 10-story building. It's just taking bunny step one day at a time.
Mhm.
The third question that I would ask is, how long do I want to stay in not believing in myself land? That's a very big one because it's just me that is not allowing me to believe what is happening, what other people's compliments to me. And I choose to believe the negative persons are what they say to me is true. So it is again, how long do I want to stay in not believing in my land, myself land? So that is like a wake up call for yourself when you're doing this exercise. It really helps to say, hey, maybe I should give myself a chance because other people, I have three C. First is choice. Second is chance. Third one is change. We are all given a choice to make in our head what we want to focus on and what we want to control. When a chances is given, like someone walking on the street say, wow, your dress looks good today, it's our chance to accept that compliment, to accept ourselves and say, hey, and believe in ourselves that, hey, I look good. I take that chance. And when you take the chances, that's when you're starting to make change. Because the first day you may say, oh, I think I look fat in this. The next day you could say, maybe I don't look too bad. The third day, the same people telling you and say, I really like this dress now because it makes me feel good. So knowing that 3C in your head, your choice, your chance, your change, that will help you to get out from the not believing in myself land. The last one, which is I find it is very powerful because it's no judgment in that sentence. It's about when is the time to stop this BS? You can call it belief system or whatever you would like to call it. Um, when is the time to stop this BS and start looking after me? That's a very powerful sentence. And I teach my clients to repeat it to themselves again and again. Sometimes when I'm on a call with people that they have that thinking of fighting back defensive and trying to bring up all that belief system that they have, they know, they heard, they hear. That's what make them up. But how long will I allow that BS to control me? When is the time to start? I take the control and I become me. So those four questions, I find it is truly powerful for anyone who are in a pickle, anyone that who wants to start to build their confidence. Like I said, it's not bungee jump. It's not jumping out of a 10-story building. It's just taking bunny steps a little bit at a time.
I love those questions. Those are very powerful questions. But what happens when we get stuck on, say the first question, what are people telling me that I know is not true?
Mhm.
But the negative stuff that they're telling you, you believe it.
Mhm. That is just, but you need to list it out and see, okay, what are my return in investment?
Okay.
What is that return in investment? What is that going to be do to me? because I believe it that it is, but is it truly? Ask yourself, is it truly I believe it? Or is it because someone else told me that I was? So have that internalization, because no one can judge your answer. If you want to say yes on question one, okay, then go to question two. Maybe it's a little bit like that now. Okay, great. Go to next question three. Don't try your best not to self-criticize, not to have self-judgment and self-sabotage. Doing this four question is requiring a very, very stable mind, and say that I try to keep my emotion at bay. Yes, you may cry when you're doing it. It's fine because it's a deep reflection, but try not to self-criticize yourself, because we can be our own very tough critics.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Mhm.
We are definitely, I think, our own worst bullies for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the negative stuff that we tell ourselves is that BS that you're talking about.
Yep.
So I think one of the questions that we need to ask ourselves is, what I am telling myself true? And not just, what others are saying about me, but is what I am
Exactly.
telling myself true?
Mhm.
Because I know that we can be so hard and so judgmental about ourselves,
Exactly. I see it every single day. It comes
Yeah.
from three matters: the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, and also lack of confidence. Those are one of the big keys that when we are worried about how other people see us, because if you look deeper under the iceberg, it's about that rejection that we fear, that I'm fearful of being alone. I'm fearful of being be judged by. So I try my best to put this shiny mask on every single day to don't let people come in and help us. I was one of those women who was in silence for over 30 years. No
Mhm.
one knows about my story 1 year ago, that I was too proud, too ashamed, too guilty to even ask for help. Only when I discover there is help out there, I starting to allow myself to accept help. I put my pride away, put my ego away, and starting to let people to help me. People who have similar experience, people who are coach or a counselor, they help you to discover what BS you are telling yourself.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, we are the only one fighting ourselves. We're fighting from within our head. That's all we are doing. So when we start to take control of fear instead of letting fear controlling us, the power will change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fear is a very powerful emotion, but it's also, I wouldn't say it's worthless. It has
Mm,
its place,
mm,
but only as more of a caution sign and not
mm.
a stop debilitating
Yeah.
aspect of our lives. But I think we tend to live in fear often,
Mm. And
unfortunately.
I like to change fear into a motivation as well. What you fear of, then ask yourself, what do I have to do to reduce that fear? What will make me feel better, not why. A lot of people keep asking why I'm feeling that way, why he's saying that thing, why I'm being told like that. Don't ask why, ask what. So when you're asking yourself a logical question, because a what normally would become a logic, a why can take your emotion downhill. So when you ask what, not even how, what, that will completely put your brain into a logical sense, because logic do not have emotion. Only emotion does not have logic. So when we're at an emotional state, for example, like trolls on the internet, on social media, they
Mhm.
can put their comments out, and a lot of us get bullied by it, and we feel very, very scared about it. And I often share with people, okay, ask yourself a logical question. Do they pay my bills? No. Do they wipe my kids' ass? No. Do they take my rubbish out? No. So what does that matter?
I love it. I love
It
it.
really helps to ask yourself okay, whatever they say,
Yeah.
how does that affect me? Beside me feeding on it, because being in a victim mode is very comforting. We get compassion. We get that, oh, like, that softness. We're allowed to be very vulnerable
Hmm.
because it's a comfort zone. But when we choose to be continuously in a victim mode, the next step we're going to move into is what I call our aggressor mode, which we will blame every single thing on other people. We stop reflecting on ourselves with, hey, maybe I'm contributing to something. No, 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 no. It must be that person's fault. I went through that stage too with my marriage. It's all his fault. I didn't look
Hmm.
at what was going on with me. There's a saying that only two chopsticks can make a sound. One chopstick will not make any sound. So they must something. I'm not saying everything is our fault or everything is his fault. We must create a balance in that. So when we are in an aggressor mode, we keep blaming for everything else, which is like my ex-husband at the moment. Basically, he's always complaining about everything around him. He did not realize that he is in this aggressor mode. So in aggressor mode, what is the negative about it is that you will never feel fulfilled. You will never feel complete. You will always feeling like that you need more and you don't feel enough. The only chances to get out from the aggressor mode and the victim mode is to make yourself a creator, to start taking control by taking little step at a time, by controlling what my emotion is towards this situation. Ask yourself that logical question that you need. Do they pay my bills? Do they put food on my table? No. Okay, then that's fine.
I love it. Yeah, those are great questions to ask yourself. And something that I always like to say is their opinion is none of my business.
Oh, yeah, I love that sentence. I really love it. I
Yeah.
really do. Because belief, we all have our own belief. Even that you like ice cream, I like ice cream, but we could be liking ice cream for different reason.
Hmm.
So why do we always care about others people's belief when it's not even ours? We got
I
so
know.
much things in our head to do already. Like, why waste time on other people's thing, worrying about what other people think and not worrying about us? When I was in depression and going through trauma therapy, when someone tell me to have self-love, more self-love, I say F off, because I thought I was having self-love. I dress well, I eat well, I travel everywhere, I earn good money, I live a good lifestyle. The only thing I don't have is a loving husband, a responsible person next to me, don't have anyone to celebrate with me, and all I have is a cat. So I thought, I do love myself. That's what I thought it was. And I was those advocate that on a plane, when they say, you must put your mask on first before you put it on other people. I say, no, I'm Asian. And I like to take care of everyone around me first. That's what I want to do. That's what I like to do. That's what I thought it was right. But because I didn't realize when my cup is half empty, it doesn't give out the same thing to the other people. And the more I give out, the more lacking I will feel inside. So some people will choose to become selfish because of that lack. Other people will actually only give out half or give out whatever they can't give out. So it's not the best that they can give out. So I realized by doing all this personal development, it made me realize that why people say I must put my mask on first.
Hmm.
Because when I have enough, when I have overflow, that's when I can help someone else better. And what is enough? What is not enough? It's not a margin. It's just the feelings of yourself and say, hey, I actually feel good about it. It's never going to be enough. It's never going to be perfect. Because what is perfection? There's no perfection in this world. It's just
Hmm.
about living with it, living with our imperfection in the best way that we can. And that's what human is.
Absolutely. Oh, you are just saying exactly the right things. Um, oh, I had a thought and then I lost it. I love your kitty.
So I know she's like, Mom, when are you gonna finish work?
I
I want
locked
cuddle.
mine out so that they won't bother me. But I think I think part of why we tie so much emotion and weight on what other people think about us is because society teaches us to.
Mhm.
We look at the magazines and the media, and everything is geared toward, making us believe that we're never enough. And
Mhm.
so we learn
So
from a young age
mhm.
that we're not enough unless we have the right makeup and the right hair and the right clothes and the right this and the right that. Um, and that everybody thinks that we're amazing, but yet
I
we
actually
forget to think that we're amazing.
yes, and I feel like it's again, do we allow other people to tell us what to do or do we take control? It's the
Right.
control part that is actually different. I always said to my partner, even, I am controlling my life because during my depression, I was like a zombie. I can
Mhm.
function, but I was like a zombie. I truly lost my soul. And when I lost my soul, I feel like that, what am I doing in this world? I'm really not happy about my life. So not until I take control back of the decision. We look at a magazine, great, that dress looks great. But you don't need to look into, I wish one day I could be like that. You don't have to because it's your control. If you want to be like that, great. Starting to work on an exercise routine, learning how they do it, then do it to see if it is achievable. Don't just hope and dream about it. If you got something that you really want, start taking actions to prove it, to get it. Because in La La Land, it's all thinking. It's like I'm very direct. I don't have a maybe in my life because I have been in La La Land for so long. Maybe one day he will change. Maybe he still love me. Maybe that he will understand my plea. He will understand my cry. That maybe never got me anywhere. It just kept me in a cycle for 19 years until that one day on my 40th birthday, I tell myself, because I'm so unhappy in my life, I only want to live up to 60 years old. I don't want to live any more than that. So I asked myself, what do I want for this 40th birthday? I said, happiness and joy. And the only way for me to get happiness is to leave this person to find my happiness and joy. And there was so much guilt for me at that time because I promised his dying mom that I will look after him. And I hold that promise for 19 years. When I left him, I still think about, do I owe him anything? Not until later, I realized that no, I have given my best in the 19 years together. I forgive you for the way that you teach me. I forgive myself. That is the big one. Learning to forgive myself for being in that position. It's all finished. It's all done. I send it to the universe and let's move on with our life. Now I'm living with my loving partner. He's absolutely amazing. He's someone that what I would call our ideal partner. Not a perfect partner, but our ideal partner because we are all imperfect in some way.
Mhm.
And he finally let me see what a future looks like. What living more than 60 years old look like. It's amazing how much we can take our life back when we choose to have just yes or no. I've been on a dating scene after my marriage for about a year and a half. Yes, I have met my fair share of scambags and whatever you want them to
Mhm.
call them, scammers. You can call them all. But the one thing that my all my friends that who know me who I was dating, how come you can keep doing this? Like you met this one, you get your heart broken, and then you just keep trying. And then I said to them, if you want to win the lotto, if you don't go and buy the lotto ticket, that will never happen. So if we look at something we truly want it, go and work hard for it. Yes, it may fail a few times, but all the time that you fail is not a failure. It's only a learning and feedback. So the next person you meet, you make sure you check everything first before you go and do the next step. Everything is a learning in our life. I I have this experience when I was doing timeline therapy. It take me back to the childhood that when my dad caused me my first fear in my life, probably around the age of 3 to 4. That fear was when he used a knife to stab on my hand to teach me a lesson because I did something wrong. And that was the fear that I took from 3 to 4 years old all the way to my adulthood and to my marriage. So I let that fear control me for all this year. And during timeline therapy, we go back and ask that really ridiculous question. What positive learning did you gain from that? I'm like, for God's sake, A, B, C, D, E, are you really kidding me? That I got to have positive learning from someone stabbing me? Wow, that's interesting. So I actually say sentence like reply like, I forgive him. And I know that it's not my fault. It was just whatever happens, and it's the past. It's not something, and we still have a good relationship now, even that thing happened. And then the last sentence I said was, I'm in control. I'm not in control of what happened then. I can't go back to history to fix it. But what I can control is how I see that situation now, how that is going to affect my emotion, and how I'm going to face it. Wow, that was a wake up call for me. And knowing that, that gives me so much more strength to face what I have to face later in life. And everything is a learning curve. And I would suggest to whoever is your audience is listening to this, please know that you always have that option of taking the control. And how you want to choose to do it, you have the option. Don't allow that self-judgment to judge yourself. You are using the resources that you have, making that decision at that time only. It doesn't mean that you won't change that decision when you have better resources. Asking for help was a big one for me. That's why I say asking for help is the best decision I've ever made. Once I put all that fear away of rejection, of judgment, I finally realized that, wow, there's so many beautiful people out there who are willing to help, willing to support. And that's how I have this goal of building my nonprofit organization to help other women that who cannot afford a coach. Because it was because my mentor that who helped me to become the person I am today. Without them, I would never be where I am. So I'm in the process of developing the Confident Project for women to gain the confidence back using our coaching to help them see there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Martha, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us today. This has been amazing. And listeners, thank you for tuning in to this summit. And we will definitely talk with you in one of our next sessions.
Thank you.